Welcome to Kitchen Table Progressive. I'm Paul Richardson, along with Joyce Nance, inviting you to join us for an hour of casual conversation where the menu is progressive and the table manners are liberal at best. Bringing thoughtful perspectives to the law, civics, politics, driving the issues, and the motivations of the players. We hope you'll find the discussion enlightening, insightful, informative, and humorous. Today, in segment 1, we'll discuss the Trump indictment, try to make sense out of that. In segment 2, we'll take a look at the Presidential Records Act and the wait a minute, that's through me. The Presidential Records Act and the Espionage Act, and in segment 3, should the Trump trial be televised? And then we'll get into some of the economy, and into segment 4, we'll have trivia. So let's see what Joyce is on Joyce's mind today. Joyce, what are you thinking about?
I'm thinking about, wow, it is a great day in America.
A great day. Now, wait a minute.
What?
The New York Times said that it was a momentous occasion.
What's a momentous occasion?
A great day in America. I thought
Not great.
the indictment.
Go ahead. Gray, G-R-A-Y.
Oh, a great day.
Gray,
well.
G-R-A-Y, gray, like
great
color.
Yeah, all right.
It's a great day here, but still nice. So it's kind of like that. I would say it's kind of like that in America. It's still kind of nice in America on the one hand, but on the other hand, it's a little gray.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my summation of today. So what would you like to talk about? Well,
the indictment coming down this week, as the New York Times, I think, I don't know, they call it, they're being criticized for calling it a momentous occasion where Trump pleads not guilty. That seems a little off to say. I mean, I'm surprised they didn't say unprecedented.
Well, doesn't every criminal on the face of the earth, even if you have 20 witnesses, the gun and the dead body, all on videotape and with, genetic material presented, don't they all say not guilty?
Well, of course, yeah. I don't think we expected Trump to plead guilty. Although, you have to wonder, was there any plea discussion?
Guaranteed.
You think so?
Well, I mean, maybe not officially, but both sides, I'm sure, are saying what their plea would be. I mean, Trump might be saying he's not doing any plea, but I guarantee you his lawyers are talking about it.
You would think they'd have to. So, well, okay. So people like Rachel Maddow cited Vice President Spiro Agnew case in 1973, where he was indicted on 40 felony counts. And the plea deal, he said he would never take a plea. He was going to fight the whole thing. And eventually the plea deal he took was to resign, from politics forever.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're looking for from Trump.
Well, but, like Trump said after the arraignment, when he flew back to New Jersey, he said, we have to win this case. I think he's saying, I need to win.
Yeah, when he says we, he means he.
he's he, yeah. I mean,
he has to win this case. Otherwise, he should have took the deal. And I still think he will take the deal. And the thing about Agnew proves that it's not unprecedented, because a vice president and the president, to me, are about the same thing. And so for the vice president to be indicted, I mean, because at any second, the president could bite the dust, and then
Right.
that same vice president would be president. So his potential is so high that you have to say they're almost the same thing.
Yeah. Were you surprised at how was it an unexpected? It seems like the indictment came sooner than we might have expected. Did you think so?
I would be hard pressed to say I thought so, since people ask me on a nonstop basis, why isn't Trump in jail? And
Right.
that's been going on ever since, well, before January 6th, but definitely after January 6th. So, and I think people even I think those people are happy about him being indicted, but in their mind, if it was them, they'd already be in jail. They'd be working on their first or second year of their sentence.
Yeah, working on it.
Yeah.
But it seems like what seemed to spark or I don't know, it's hard to make a correlation, but was when two people, Mike Pence went back in went to the grand jury and talked for like almost a whole day or something like that, 5 or 6 hours. And then the mysterious disappearance of Mark Meadows, where he's just not, you don't hear anything about Mark Meadows. And
Well, yeah, you do hear stuff. You hear that he flipped and he gave them all the texts, and you don't hear it from him, but you hear definitely, if not yelling, you hear whispering about him constantly. There's a lot of chatter.
yeah, that he was either flipped on Trump or that he was a target of all of this and the conspiracy, or maybe he was.
Yeah, we don't know who else is the target.
No, that's true. There's only, well, in the conspiracy, Trump's valet, right, was also part of it.
Well, I'm mystified about that one, because he was not the only one that moved boxes around. And
No.
I have no information that he was part of the brains of the operation.
No, it's kind of like he seems like a pretty small,
Yeah, a very
small fish and all of this.
I'm guessing they did that to try to get him to flip. That would be my guess. And I'm guessing they've tried already, but this is further trying of that.
Right.
Yeah. So.
And of course, all we've heard from, the Republicans have doubled down on The guy's indicted again. This is his second criminal indictment. He's already been found liable in a sexual assault case, and yet he's still, the Republicans double down on defending him. Although the Proud Boys and so on are more upset about Bud Light and so on than Trump's indictment. It seems like.
Well, that's smoke. But you know what? I forgot. I was going to read this little bit of history about this.
Oh.
So I'm sure everybody knows, but on June 8th, the Justice Department indicted Trump in Miami federal court for 31 counts of willfully retaining national defense information under the Espionage Act. One count of making false statements, and jointly with a personal aide, single counts of conspiracy to obstruct justice, withholding government documents, corruptly concealing records, concealing a document in a federal investigation, and scheming to conceal their efforts. And then, of course, he famously was assigned to Trump judge Eileen Cannon.
Yeah.
So that's
her name. Aileen.
Was it Aileen? Okay.
It's Aileen.
Yeah, that's how you spell it. Yeah, I guess I had to look it up. Pronounces it, so I did too.
I thought it was Eileen. Anyway, Aileen is a name I haven't. Who has a penchant for very expensive footwear, apparently.
Well, so. Yeah, I thought it was kind of strange that she decided as her first action was to see which attorneys qualified for a security clearance, but she made no mention that she did.
Wow, that's interesting. I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. So
She wanted to see which attorney. Say that again. Which
her first move, and CNN thought this was something that was good. that was she was going to make quick work of finding out which attorneys would qualify as some kind of either secret or top secret clearance to look at these documents, although I'm thinking they probably already all have.
well, no, I don't know about that because
well, it's part of the evidence.
Yeah, but it was yesterday. Jack Smith just said he's ready to present classified. Non-classified. I think he said yesterday he's ready to present non-classified evidence
to the press or to the trial.
For discovery.
For discovery. Okay, all right.
But for the other side. But that's interesting. Now, here's the thing: is the Trump legal team is kind of not necessarily known for being the most up and up of people. Would you, for instance, would you clear Joe Tacopini for top secret clearance? Would he be one?
Oh, was that one of his lawyers?
No, well, he doesn't have a lawyer in Florida. He's still looking for a lawyer who's licensed to practice in Florida.
I thought he did have I think he does have one on his team, but it's not the one that he wants. He has a Florida lawyer on his team.
He had somebody I think he had somebody who was to go to represent him in the arraignment. But I'm not sure that they still have settled on somebody to actually try the case.
Well, I know they were looking for somebody else, but he had somebody that could help him file papers, I guess.
Yeah, he filed that he got, but the big law firms who have good attorneys, so I've heard, are not interested in this kind of a case. It's you have a reputation to uphold. And
against a hard break in about 20 seconds, just so you know. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. That's okay. You'll hit the hard break. It's hard to, being a reputable law firm in Florida. They want to win good cases, but they're also looking at, what kind of if they see the evidence and they know the judge bringing good evidence, they also don't want to lose a case in an embarrassing way. So we'll have to see who Trump comes up with for his legal representation. Okay, and we are back. Our segment number 2. I thought we'd talk about a little bit about the Presidential Records Act and the Espionage Act. Now, Donald Trump keeps saying that he had the documents, he has a right to them, and I mean, this is what he said: he has the documents, he has a right to them, and he has the Presidential Records Act. That was pretty much the summation of what he said many times, right? Isn't that pretty much it?
Mm-hmm. Yes, they were his.
Yeah, they're mine. Which this is what I don't understand about why he's getting this. The first thing I would say is, well, first of all, he says he has them. Okay, so that's an admission. That's an admission. Okay, he says he has them, but then when he says I have a right to them, this constitutionally is, well,
wrong.
Totally wrong. But it's totally wrong because, well, I'll say it in a minute. The reason he says this, from what I understand, has nothing to do with any of what his lawyers have told him, but this kind of muckraker by the name of Tom Fitton, who has an organization that he's not a lawyer, but he has basically a business that goes around suing Democrats for just the ridiculous, stupid things. He's one of these. He's a muckraker, and he's not a lawyer, but he told Trump, "You have a right to them." So this is what's totally wrong, is that, and only a total misunderstanding of the Constitution, is that governmental officials and government offices don't have rights. They don't have rights. They have powers. So it has to be within. And so when he says a right, he would be talking about an individual right that Trump has as an individual. I mean, if you're talking about a right, we normally talk about rights as applying to individuals, and it's where there is some removable discontinuity of government power. In other words, the government has powers, but not in this particular thing that we call your right. So to say that it's a right is to infer that this is where Trump is free. It's almost like he's saying, I'm free of outside of my official, the official immunity or whatever of the office, and outside of my position, former position as president, I have an individual right, which is just totally wrong, because this would have to be somehow under his presidential power. So under that reasoning, you look at Article 2, which describes the powers of the president. I don't see anything in Article 2 that would say that he has the power. It's not a fundamental power described in the Constitution that he has the power to retain government documents. There's just nothing there that would suggest that. I can't.
Well, he's using the Occam's razor explanation. What is the simplest possible explanation for him doing this heinous thing?
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Do it, yeah.
Occam's razor. Yeah, it's the simplest explanation for his supporters, right?
Yeah.
I got a right, and in fact, they love to say, I got a right to do everything. I got a right to do whatever the F I want, right?
Okay. Right. Yeah. So that's his standard go-to thing. No matter what it is, you're wrong. I'm right. I'm right.
I'm right, and I have a right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right, and I have a right.
Yeah. You guys are witches, not me.
Yeah. So, but then the Presidential Records Act, it was passed Congress and signed into law by President Carter in 1978. I think in the fall of 1978, and President Carter signed it into law in November of 1978. But it didn't take effect until oddly enough January. For the next president, January 20th of 1981 is when it was set to take place. So it only took place under Ronald Reagan. That's what it. So Carter signed the law, but it didn't apply to him. So they made it so it applied to the next president. And what I understand is it just simply means that all presidential records belong to our public records. They belong to the
public
archives. They belong to the archives.
Which is the public.
which is the public, right? They belong to the archives. They do not belong to the president.
Yeah,
And the only thing I could,
it's a
the only thing I could, go ahead.
the people law.
Oh, one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're annoying.
Those pesky subjects of mine.
Sounds like a Democrat or progressive. The gays did it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Pesky. But then the only thing that I could find that was, a power that I guess the president could invoke is there are certain records that the president you can look, they're open to the public. You can get requests for information. You can look at them, but there are certain records that the president has to give is okay on. So in other words, but they still reside in the archive.
Well, okay, but you can't. I mean, I don't know if you've ever had a top secret clearance. Have you?
Not that I know of.
Okay, so I've had one, but in any case, they take a while to get, and if you do anything that is controversial regarding anything classified, if they say you can't take a picture of X and you take a picture of X, you will get hauled in. Mm-hmm. So these documents that he showed to people that didn't have any kind of clearance at all about other countries, mm-hmm. I do not know how he will explain that away other than a plea deal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I did anything wrong, but I will say that I will not run for anything anymore and I will shut up forever.
Right. So you got clearance when you were in the military?
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. So, so that's the what he's saying about the Presidential Records Act is, as far as I can tell, the exact opposite of what it means, which is about par for the course for Trump, right? It's the exact opposite of what it really is.
Yeah, that's how he's like, if you look a word up in the dictionary, and most people look under the meanings, but he looks under the antonyms.
Yeah, the antonyms.
That's how it goes forward.
I found it under the anthems. This is under the anthems. He thought they were anthems. These are the American anthems. I found it under the anthems, and right here it says under the anthems, which are the patriotic anthems of America. He misread. That was halfway funny. The Espionage Act of 1917, which was, passed during World War I or just before, was first. I mean, the history of it first took effect in 1917, 1919 was when the first free speech cases went to the Supreme Court, and the first one was Schenck, and these were people who were trying to. The Espionage Act essentially, where it was first under warfare, the U.S. Code, USC Title 50, it was under warfare. Has been moved to Title 18, criminal, and it first started out the free speech cases where Schenck, that case, and this was the case where Justice Oliver Wendell Holmes Jr. wrote, you can't be a clear and present danger, such as falsely, shouting or yelling fire in a crowded movie theater. And this had to do with Schenck first was trying to distribute pamphlets telling people not to ignore their conscription notices for the army. Mm-hmm. And this was considered to be, he was, I think, convicted in New York. Same with, and then later that year, Abrams, I think his name was Jacob Abrams, was distributing pamphlets saying pretty much the same thing. This was they were considered communist sympathizers, and those convictions were upheld. Although in the second one, in the Abrams case, and Eugene Debs also was cited under the Espionage Act and was jailed, went to prison. Although all three of these people were, they were commuted. Their sentences were commuted by President Harding. in 1921, and they were released. But
are you working your way up to the current ones?
yeah, I'm just giving some history here.
Oh, okay.
You
Yeah,
like the
because
history.
there's ones happening this week.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But as they've worked up the thing that where people have in recent times, it hasn't been free speech, but in the last, say, 30 to 35 years, it's been unlawful retention of military documents. It all applies to the military. Unlawful retention of classified military documents. And in this indictment, Trump has been cited with 31 counts of retention. Of the 37, 31 counts are retention and 6 counts are obstruction. So I think, I think Trump he's got the documents. He's admitted that he had them, and he has, on 6 occasions, tried to obstruct giving them back. That's his problem. We'll be right back. Okay, so covering the Espionage Act and the indictment and the Presidential Records Act. Next question is: there have been, I think, first calls on the right that this trial has to be televised, and then I'm hearing more and more calls from both sides to say that the trial should be televised. What do you think?
Must see TV.
Must see TV.
Having watched the entirety of the OJ trial, I don't see any difference.
That's true. The OJ trial was televised, wasn't it?
It was hosted by Judge Ito, and who then would go on the Tonight Show and joke about it with, I don't know, Johnny Carson, whoever was the guy then. And
that had to be the guy with the big chin.
Maybe. Yeah, but anyways, he went
94
on the Tonight Show to joke about the trial, which involved 2 people being murdered.
That's true. Hey, that is funny.
Well, depends who you are.
To go, I mean, to joke about it.
Like something animation of the dancing Itos that Judge Ito really liked. So there could be like something like that for the Trumps. But the thing of it is, and this is, I think we brought this up before, is the writer's strike. It goes on without even like a mumble that anybody's trying to settle it. And I do believe that is corporate America turning down the fire on Trump with because they're the ones that roast him the most, like daily, more than daily. And so
that's true. There haven't been any. Yeah, all of that's done. There's nothing about it.
Yeah, I know. So I don't, and it sounds like the owner side, if you want to call them that, is not being very conducive to any kind of settlement.
But do you think that corporate TV would have a stake in like let's face it, there are players that say
Yeah.
This works out for us. How about we televise it? We'll try. But
Oh,
by the way,
yeah, they can televise it, but yeah, it won't be roasted. At least not by the regular guys. So, in any
well, who would carry it?
who would carry it? I don't know, CNN, or maybe there would be a bidding war. I don't know. Maybe we could carry it.
Yeah.
It's a smaller, lesser known show.
Yeah. Well,
And then we could do like an announcer in the back.
I would just bet. I would bid on
like
the
in the
execution.
PGA or the bowling. Trump is approaching the bench, and
Well, so I know. I just think that I would think that the corporate media would be interested in, since they aren't. Well, here brings up a couple questions here. First of all, first of all, I would say that of all the people who have been calling for it to be televised, the one person who hasn't, the media whore himself, has not said a word about it, and I have a theory about why.
Why?
Because for one thing, if it's televised, he has nothing to do afterwards to go out and have rallies and lie about what happened in court.
Oh, I see. Oh,
yeah.
All right. Well,
and then the second thing is, if it's televised, he has to show up in court every day, and he doesn't want to. He doesn't plan on showing up for a minute of this.
Yeah, he likes to watch. I don't think he has to go there. Maybe.
No, he doesn't have to.
No, the defendant has the right to be there. I do not believe they have to be there. So,
right. But wouldn't you, if you're fighting for your life and you want to project how righteous you are, wouldn't you show up there with righteous indignation? I mean, he couldn't even show up to face E. Jean Carroll and call her a liar to her face.
Yeah, right. He didn't go to that. So
no, he said he threatened to be, as a defendant, he threatened to show up.
Well, okay, do it. But yeah, then we can't see him sprawled on his couch eating directly out of the box of Fruit Loops. Which I'm pretty sure would be the other scene, the unseen scene.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he would actually have to. I mean, I don't think that Trump could actually survive a day in court, even one.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think that would be too long a day for him to sit there.
He's done at least a day long, if not days long, depositions. But you're active in those. You're not just listening.
Right. Yeah, you have to participate.
But I guarantee you, maybe not for everybody, but for some people, the trial will be spellbinding.
Right.
If televised or even audiovised. I mean, maybe he could just.
I think it would be.
Let's do it audio and forget about the video. Then we don't have to scrutinize what his expressions mean.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
What concerns would there be about televising? I mean, I wonder if one of the reasons they wouldn't is the possibility of any top secret. Of course, top secret stuff is going to be shielded anyway.
Yeah, they can just go off, either off, maybe not off the record, but just we're not, like I used to shoot trials for. I can't remember the name. I think it's called Law and Crime. They're like an internet court thing, and I did this one, and it was about child abuse. And so anytime, and the kids were part of the trial, so anytime the kids said anything, did anything, I had to, even though I had no warning, I had to turn it off instantly. And so it would be very similar to that.
Oh yeah, that would be. You mean did the kids testify?
The kids did testify, and so they were not recorded. Yeah, the kids testified, but they also walk in and out of the jury, so you can't shoot that, and you can't accidentally swing your camera right when they're in the shot. So it's a little tricky, but they do it all the time. I just did a few of those.
Okay.
Yeah, it's harder than you think.
So with all of this, we look at the polls, and I don't know. You see polls that say the Trump and Biden are in a dead heat, and then you look at the economy, And I don't know what the perception of is the economy, but what do you think the economy and the polls, and what is that?
Okay, well, I have a couple of different views on the economy. That the Congressional Budget Office said that the the total GDP, is projected to grow at a moderate rate through 2033, like 3.1% this year and 4.8% next year and the year after, which
that's good.
Is pretty bullish.
Yeah.
But then the Monetary Fund says that the forecast is expected to fall from 3.4 in 2022 to 2.8 in 2023, which I still think is not that bad.
No, because honestly, okay, you look at the economy.
Wait, I'm not done.
Okay.
One more. So Goldman Sachs says, and this is the one actually I think you should pay attention to. Goldman Sachs says that there could be a GDP rise this year or next of 7%, and it's all attributed to the growth of the phenomena of AI, artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that.
Yeah, there's like the stock, it's called NVIDIA or something like that, and they specialize the most in AI, and their stock is just going straight up this week anyways.
Yeah. Well, I think even which one was the lowest one that said that we could have a dip to 2.8?
The lowest one was the International Monetary Fund.
Okay, so that is the economy under Obama's second half of Obama's second term was mostly in the high twos, and Trump, even though he boasted about this great economy, he only had 1 quarter of 3%. He had a second quarter of 2019 was 3.1%, and he basically just rode the Trump economy or the Obama economy.
Yeah.
And so the economy has really actually taken off under Biden.
He had like 0 interest rate, which really makes things catch on fire.
Yeah, and this is the same Jerome Powell who wants to raise it up to almost 9%. He said there might be another half point by the 2 quarter point raises by the end of the year.
He was okay with 0 the whole time.
He was okay with 0 when it was totally throwing gasoline on the fire, and then he wonders why is there too much money in the economy, and then the economy takes off because of Biden's policies, and then it's like, oh, now we have way too much money in the economy. It's like, this is kind of like, I think Jerome's off his meds. He's like, that's why he goes from one side to the other. It's just too much. But the Trump economy was, as a matter of fact, in second quarter 2019, this is what fascinated me, was his only quarter. This is after he made the tariff. He put on the tariffs. All the production that went out was in second quarter 2019, was before the tariffs took
30 seconds
took effect. That's all right. You can just let it hit. I'll write it. And then he just it was the third quarter of 2019 is where Trump's economy fell out. He had second quarter 3.1, third quarter of 2019 was 1.9. When Obama had 1.9%, he said any president has 1.9% should resign, and then he got it very next after, and then he barely avoided recession in the fourth quarter of 2019 when he had a 2.1% growth, and then finally COVID hit, and so his economy, the Trump economy, was no great shakes. Biden's economy is far more robust, and so there you go.
We'll be right back.
Okay, so last segment here, we have in mind a trivia game, right, Joyce?
Yep. It's going to be a historical, political trivia game where we ask somewhere between 5 and 10 questions. We're still arguing about it. And and then it's going to be available on the website as soon as the show is over to enter. And whoever sends in their entry first, then they will be the winner.
First one, you get them all right.
To get them all right, yeah.
Yeah, you have to get them all right, and you have to be the first one to get them all right. And we will come up with some kind of a prize to reward you for that. But the questions could be a little challenging, so it's not going to be something where you can just ask your phone. Well, there might be a few where you could just ask your phone, but some of them there'll be a grade of challenges along the way. So. Anyway, for instance, what kind of question would we ask?
We might ask who was the name of the first person to fire the first shot in the Civil War.
Ooh, in the Civil War?
Mm-hmm.
I think that might have been a cannon shot. I think that might have been.
Well, it has to be a gun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
General Beauregard.
I really think it was a general.
Probably.
I don't know I don't know what the answer is.
Well, I would. Oh, how about this one? How about no? I think it should be who was the one who fired the shot was heard around the world.
Okay, who was?
On April 19th, 1775 in Lexington, Massachusetts. That would be a good one.
What's the answer?
I have no idea. It was we could, yeah. Well, that would be a good question because that shall we ask our phone? Who's the one?
Yeah, ask your phone.
Okay, let's see what. Okay, let's see. Who fired the shot that was heard around the world?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia. Internationally, the phrase shot heard round the world, alternatively shots heard round the world, or shot heard around the world, has become primarily associated with the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria on June 20, 1914.
Okay, well, the shot heard around the world, according to Wikipedia, was the assassination of Archduke Ferdinand in 2014 that set off World War I, and that I don't think the person is known. That was attributed to the group, the Black Hand, I believe. Was it an anarchist group or a
person that shot him, but they don't have a name?
I don't think they know.
Oh, they don't. Oh, they don't know. So it was just somebody dressed in black.
Well, it was a group called the Black Hand, and it was some assassin from that group.
Okay, so
they may know. I don't know the answer to it, but I know it was that.
Nobody has ever been caught and or punished for it. Then
right. Oh, well, there would be another one would be Great Assassins, right? The Great American Assassins.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of assassins, and not that many anymore presidential, but there's other ones around the world. There was Mr. Abe got assassinated. I don't know, was it last year or the year before? Japan.
Oh, that's right. That was, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
that was. Well, there would be. Maybe we should keep it to American. We would have. There would be a lot of assassinations.
Oh. Okay. Well, we're gonna have to decide if we're gonna have like everybody else a choice of 4. We're probably gonna have to do that, mainly because it is a definitive answer that way. We don't have to make judgment calls.
Oh, as to who shot who?
You know somebody's first name, but you don't know their last name. So you just put their first name, then you have to make a judgment call. But if the answers are just there with their first and last name, Mr. and Abe, then.
Well, who shot JR? We never did find out about that, did we?
That I don't know. I never watched that show.
Oh, we did find out. It was somebody's girlfriend who got killed in a car accident. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that
I
was
only watched the Simpsons version, and then that
Oh,
it was Maggie the baby.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, then we could have questions about the Constitution that would be some that you could look up, or also some that you might have to interpret. You have to understand what it
Well, but
means.
I'm going to say that people that can answer it without looking it up will go faster than people that have to look it up, even if they can get it pretty fast looking it up.
Mm-hmm.
Or they
Well,
might just enjoy taking the test and not worry about
all right.
being first. I don't know. Have you ever looked at Slate magazine?
Slate?
Slate.com?
No.
It's online. It's a progressive online magazine. It's really pretty good. Have you ever looked at Daily Beast?
I
Okay,
Daily-
also okay, both of those you should look at.
Yeah.
But in any case, because they're like definitely not worried about offending people. So on Slate, they just had a test every Friday, which a lot of places do, like New York Times and CNN and some other ones, and everybody was crazed for that. So then they went with one on Mondays also, and everyone was crazed for that. So now Slate Magazine is going every day of the week with the, or maybe not Saturday, but every other day, or maybe not the weekend, but every other weekday, they have a trivia quiz. That's how crazy everybody is for trivia. So that is why. So
Okay, well, what kind of questions do they have? Constitutional questions, or do they? Or first of all, are their questions multiple choice, or are they?
They're multiple choice.
Okay,
but they're timed, which doesn't. You can take I think as long as you want on the one hand, but on the other hand, you get a lower score. But I don't know if I'll have the ability to do that. So ours is just going to have to be right or wrong. And also, if it is 4 choices, then we probably can get the computer to grade it for us if there's a lot of entries. If we do it the other way, then we might have to wait for AI to develop a little bit.
Oh, even better reason to invest.
There you have it. I gave you the tip here. I don't know what else I can do. If you give me the money, I'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Or abscond.
Okay.
And I will plead not guilty.
I'm sure. Who doesn't? Who wouldn't?
I don't. Well, yeah. The thing is if you're going to plead guilty, you're going to do that ahead of the trial. The deal will already be made. You don't just make it a surprise. I'm guilty. You got to get something out of it.
Right.
So some people, if they can't get anything out of it, then they just go to trial, which I recommend for anybody in a hard situation, because the thing of it is, if you do plea, even if you can plea on murder cases and, anything really.
Well, 95% of all criminal cases get pleas. Only 5% of them are prosecuted anyway. So
right, and that's because they don't have time. They don't even have time for the 5% that are left. But
that's true. The courts are slammed with that. But it also helps
what I was
move things along. And
was that now I forgot what I was going to say. It was so brilliant too. All right, never mind.
Well, I was going to say, I have a friend who is a public defender. He's retired, and I asked him, so, how well did you do? Did you do what, 40, 50%? He said, oh no, I did much better than that. I said, in your career, you did better than 50%. He goes, oh, I did probably close to 75, maybe even 80%. I said, you did? You got 80%? He said, yeah. Huh?
Of plea deals?
No, of in trials. He got a acquittal in.
Yeah.
He won as a public defender. He said, I won easy 75%, maybe a little more, close to 80. And I said, you got that? I said, so how many of your clients do you think were guilty? He said, oh, over 90%.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is the technicalities of how they do it. I also worked for the public defender's office as a legal, and The guy that I worked with, the lawyer, he had been there 20 years and he had only taken a couple of cases to trial. Yeah, but I don't think I did any cases with him, but we did do hearings, or maybe we did do a case. But really, almost as soon as you introduce any evidence, there goes the prosecutor's case because it gives reasonable doubt.
Right. Yeah.
So that's where, like, we had a guy that was looking at 18 years in prison. And because I was able to produce this information that I had gotten from various recordings and make it hearable and stuff like that, he ended up with like a year of unsupervised probation.
Right.
To go from 18 years in prison.
Well, that's what my friend said. He said he just looked for a technicality, and so 90%. He said 90% of his clients he thought were probably guilty, or he thought were guilty, and he got 75 to 80% of them off. So
yeah, but I guarantee you he didn't do very many trials.
No, maybe not, but he probably they don't take him to trial. Well, 95% of them, 95. I'm just asked him about his trials. Yeah,
but lesser ones, they totally don't want to waste the court's time.
Right, they don't want to do that. That's
and they just want to say, okay, you bought liquor and you were not 21. Here's a conspiracy to do that, and that's 1 month unsupervised probation.
Right. Okay. So yeah. Well, I mean, we can. So
thanks for coming by. We're going out of here.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us on Kitchen Table.
Oops.
What happened?
Don't know.
Thanks for joining us on Kitchen Table Progressive. Join us again next week at 6 p.m. Central Time. We'll pick up the topics of the day here on WCPT 8:20 a.m. Chicago. Next week, all right, let's let it ride. I got